keep your lips sealed and watch how your life transforms. Because most people aren't brought down by what they go through, but by what they blurt out without restraint. Every time you expose your plans, your fears, or your emotions to someone who doesn't understand your path, you unknowingly hand them power. And that power doesn't only influence how you feel, but also your dreams, your drive, and the way others look at you. Think about it. If nobody knew what you're building right now, how many criticisms could hold you back? How many comments could extinguish your motivation? How many comparisons could shake your confidence? Quiet people carry far more power than you imagine, because the one who learns to master their tongue ends up steering their destiny. When you protect your inner energy, the pressure of the outside world naturally decreases. In this video, you'll learn how to guard your silence before the world devours your energy. I'll show you what should stay private, what kinds of confessions steal your peace, and how to build a stronger inner balance. Silence isn't emotional escape, it's intelligent protection, and calm almost always lives in what you choose not to say. Before we begin, I want to ask you for something small but important. Write this phrase below. Today, I choose silence. If you often feel the urge to explain yourself, to justify yourself to everyone, or to share every emotion that passes through you, this simple phrase can change everything, because true discipline begins the moment you learn to control your tongue. As Plato said, the wise speak because they have something to say, the fool because they feel they must say something. It's time to discover the strength of silence. 1. Your big goals and your plans for the future. Not revealing your plans is the first step, and the most decisive one, for protecting your inner strength. We all know a seed can't grow if it isn't well buried. Yet when it comes to our dreams, we forget that simple truth. The moment enthusiasm appears, we rush to talk, to share, to announce. It's that nearly uncontrollable impulse, to shout it to the world, to receive applause too early, to seal the emotion with words. And even though it may seem harmless, it's one of the most dangerous traps for the soul. Because as human beings, more than action, we tend to be addicted to recognition. You might think sharing a goal will give you momentum, that it will force you to keep your word, or that it will attract support. It sounds logical, but your mind interprets that act differently. When you say a goal out loud, your reward system turns on and releases dopamine as if you've already achieved it. In other words, you feel the pleasure of the end of the road without having taken the first step. That's why so many people freeze right after announcing their plans. A big goal is like a valuable seed. It must be planted deep in absolute silence and in darkness. To sprout, it needs time, pressure, and above all, not to be seen. In that darkness, the seed breaks, sends out roots, and fights an invisible battle. First, it strengthens inward, then upward. But an impatient spirit can't tolerate that stillness. It wants to dig up the seed every day to show it to the world. Look at the potential I have. And that's how a dream dies. A root exposed too soon to the light of other people's judgments, expectations, and envy dries out quickly. Your mission isn't to display the seed, it's to protect it. That plan that excites you, that dream that even keeps you up at night, demands your silence. Other people's approval isn't light. It's fire that burns what is still fragile. Your plans should be nourished by your actions, not by your words. Don't consume that inner fire trying to impress. Even from his majestic palace, the emperor and philosopher Marcus Aurelius fought his greatest battles in silence when he said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be." C1 was speaking exactly about this. Don't announce that you'll be a creator, a thinker, or a wise person. Be it in silence. Every day, without witnesses, place one more brick into your work. Revealing your dreams too soon isn't just a psychological weakness, it's a strategic mistake. People who can't see your path will load you with their own fears. Are you sure? That's hard. I don't think you can. They seem like harmless phrases, but they wear down your conviction millimeter by millimeter, and in the end your dream isn't destroyed by them, but by you. by allowing those voices to live inside you. For the Stoics, silence isn't avoidance, it's protection. Noise disperses intention, silence concentrates it. A goal announced too soon gets lost in the echo. A goal kept in silence grows roots. It's no coincidence that truly successful people are reserved. They know every misused word drains energy. Whoever masters their tongue masters their destiny. Real dreams aren't announced in the streets. They are built on silent nights, with efforts nobody sees, with walks in solitude, with disciplines without witnesses. That's where transformation happens. So work in silence and let your actions speak. Your dreams are seeds. If you release them to the wind, they get lost. If you bury them well, they become unbreakable. 2. Your good deeds and your acts of virtue. Who decides the true value of a good deed? You or the crowd watching you? When we help someone without asking for anything, when we have a generous gesture or extend a hand selflessly, the urge to talk about it almost always appears. We live in a world where value seems measured by applause, as if goodness is only complete when it is seen and celebrated. But Stoic wisdom teaches the opposite, to walk the silent path of virtue. That's why the second thing you should never tell anyone is your good deeds. The moment you make your virtue public, you stain it. When you announce what you did, the focus stops being on the beauty of the act and shifts to your desire to be recognized. The action stops being virtue and becomes an investment of the ego. For the Stoics, virtue is its own reward. Expecting approval or gratitude is as absurd as imagining the sun waiting for applause for rising every morning. Goodness is done because it's part of your nature, not to gain prestige or collect labels of being a good person. Marcus Aurelius explains this with striking clarity. Just as the vine gives grapes, the dog follows its trail, and the bee makes honey without expecting anything in return, the virtuous person does good without seeking reward. They simply fulfill their nature. When you do good, you do it in harmony with your natural purpose to be a rational and social being. The reward is in the act itself. Exposing it puts an artificial price on something that was born pure. When you keep your good deeds to yourself, you build something far more valuable than recognition, character. Your silent actions become a hidden treasure, moments only you know, and only your conscience can witness. Other people's approval is like the wind. Today it blows, tomorrow it disappears. But the serenity that comes from living according to your values is an unshakable foundation in any storm. Also, constantly talking about your good deeds makes you dependent on something dangerous: validation. If nobody notices what you did, or if you don't receive enough praise, frustration begins to grow, sometimes even anger. That reveals your generosity is conditional. When the thought appears, what's the point if nobody sees it? You're no longer acting from virtue, but from a need for approval. A Stoic spirit, however, does what is right even when no one is watching. So the next time you do the right thing, savor the silence of that moment. Let the act be a small secret between you and the universe. Virtue doesn't need noise, it shines by its own light. When you stop seeking the world's approval, you find the most solid and most valuable approval, your own conscience, and that is worth more than any applause. 3. Your inner battles and your emotional weaknesses. If you want to protect your self-esteem, avoid sharing your emotional fragilities with just anyone. We all have days when we break inside, when we feel exhausted or on the edge of collapse. That's a natural part of being human. But there is a crucial truth you must never forget. Not every ear is a refuge, and not every listener is healing. Some people don't listen to understand you. They listen to interpret you, compare you, or even store your words to use them later. Over time, you learn it. Every emotion poured into the wrong place doesn't strengthen a bond. It leaves you exposed. What you shared with honesty can become a weapon in the wrong hands. When you open your vulnerability to the wrong person, you don't create connection. You become emotionally naked. Instead of understanding, you receive judgment, comparisons, or comments that later get repeated in other spaces. It only takes hearing one day, but you yourself said you couldn't handle that, to feel an internal crack, because you realize what you offered in trust is now ammunition in someone else's hands. True emotional maturity begins when you realize telling everything isn't sincerity. It's carelessness. Acknowledging your pain is courage. Spreading it without measure makes you more fragile. Some wounds need silence, time, and the right presence, not a crowd. Choosing who gets access to your emotional world is just as important as understanding that world. Not everyone can hold you. Not everyone can understand you. Not everyone heals at your pace. That's why choosing the right person to open up to isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. A trustworthy therapist, a wise mentor, or a friend who can listen without judging can transform your pain. Others, on the other hand, can turn your emotions into a weapon against you. Remember this: a feeling spilled in the wrong place doesn't look like strength. It looks like weakness. And you are not weak. You're just tired. You're just hurt. But you're still standing. If you open that wound in front of the wrong eyes, they'll place you in a lower position than you truly deserve. There are wounds not meant to be told, but to be understood. And understanding is not something everyone can do. That's why protecting your emotional world isn't defensiveness. It's wisdom. Opening your inner world is like opening a door to your life. The wrong door hurts you. The right door heals you. Your heart is not a microphone. It's a temple. It doesn't open to every voice or surrender to every curiosity. Temples are protected with silence, opened with awareness, and sustained with wisdom. So protect your emotions. It isn't repressing them. It's bringing them to the place that deserves them. Shared well, they heal you. Shared poorly, they wound you. And you are not on this path to bleed. You are on this path to grow stronger. 4. Your financial situation. Talking about your financial situation, especially in unstable times, not only weakens you psychologically, it also dangerously alters how others perceive you. Money is one of the most delicate topics in human relationships, and most people don't have the emotional maturity to handle it. Sharing your financial struggles can feel like relief, but without meaning to, you place yourself in the position of someone worthy of pity. And pity, even when it looks like empathy, carries hidden poison. It doesn't lift you up, it keeps you down. Instead of seeing you as an equal, many begin acting from a false superiority, and once they see you from that angle, escaping that frame becomes almost impossible. But the opposite extreme is also dangerous. When you start doing better financially and you share it, for many it isn't inspiration. It's a trigger. They don't see your sleepless nights, your discipline, or your sacrifices. They only see the result, and that result awakens comparisons, silent envy, or frustrations they will never admit. Innocent comments show up like, "Wow, you did that so fast. Everything always works out for you." Comments that drain your energy and put you on the defensive. Without noticing, you open the door to emotional pressure that steals your balance. Sharing your financial details opens a door you almost never notice. The door of emotional control. If you say you're struggling, they underestimate you. If you say you're doing well, they envy you. Either way, you lose your center. And money is temporary. It rises, it falls, it rises again. But your reputation is permanent. That's why you shouldn't talk about your finances with just anyone. Consult someone experienced, seek advice from someone who knows, but don't strip your economic life in front of everyone. Seneca, one of the richest men in Rome and one of the greatest defenders of Stoicism, understood it better than anyone. Money is the slave of the wise and the master of the fool. When you talk about your financial situation, whether bragging or complaining, you turn money into your master. You allow it to define your emotional state, your identity, and the way you relate to others. The wise person instead sees money only as a tool, never as a purpose, never as personal worth. Financial silence isn't a wall of shame, it's strategy. Your situation can be bad today and excellent tomorrow, but if they already labeled you as the one who has nothing, or the one who shows off, erasing that label is nearly impossible. Money doesn't say who you are. It doesn't tell how you think, what you've learned, or how many times you've gotten back up. Those values can't be seen, but they're the ones that truly matter. Your money is like a seed. If you leave it exposed on the ground, the wind carries it off, birds take it, people step on it. But if you bury it in silence, only you know where it is. There it sends roots, strengthens, and grows. And when it sprouts, nobody will be able to pull it out. That is real security, protecting what nobody sees. Because the real meaning of money isn't in your pocket, it's in your mind. And that mind should not be shaped by other people's words. That's why staying silent about your financial situation isn't shame, it's freedom. Silence can become capital more valuable than money itself. In a world where numbers rise and fall, the only truly stable thing is your ability to protect your privacy. 5. Other people's secrets and what they confide in you. Sharing someone else's secrets doesn't only break their trust, it also quietly erodes your own character, becoming one of the most destructive behaviors that exist. Because the secret someone gives you isn't light material for conversation. It's an invisible burden handed to you as an act of honor, and every confidant creates a relationship of respect. I'm telling you because I trust you. The moment you break that pact, you don't betray only a confidence, you betray someone's faith in the world. Exposing someone's vulnerability to others is like throwing a defenseless person in front of a crowd. This betrayal isn't always intentional. Sometimes it happens as a slip, a comment between casual conversations. But the consequence, regardless of your intention, is just as devastating. Imagine for a moment that you shared your deepest fear, your most painful mistake turned into a confession, and the person you told passes it to someone else. What would you feel? Shame, anger, disappointment, distrust. That's exactly what you cause when you reveal other people's secrets. Even if those wounds close with time, they always leave a mark. A person who no longer trusts you will never open their heart with the same warmth. And still, many people believe talking about others' lives is a form of relief. It always starts with, "I won't tell anyone." Then small details appear, then the whole story. And the most dangerous part is this. Even if you don't say names, the story belongs to someone. And when that person hears it, something breaks. "I told you that, only you." That sentence is the silent funeral of a relationship. Because when trust cracks, it doesn't only damage the bond. You get marked as someone unreliable. From there, people talk less with you, open up less, protect themselves more. Loyalty isn't a shouted oath. It's a promise of honor spoken in silence. True maturity isn't in speaking when you want. It's in staying quiet when you must. Protecting someone's secret isn't a favor. It's an act of respect toward yourself. Trustworthiness is an invisible armor you carry for life. Once it's pierced, it can be repaired, yes, but it never regains its original shine. Everyone should hold one simple, invaluable rule. I don't carry stories that don't belong to me, because some stories are fragile, others are wounded, and others are still bleeding even as they're told. When you repeat them, you turn someone else's pain into conversation material. Who would want to carry that guilt? Remember this. What comes out of your mouth doesn't only describe you, it builds you. The one who protects others' secrets is strong. The one who spreads them loses themselves. You choose which side you stand on. For the Stoics, virtue isn't only knowing what is right, it's also protecting what is right. And sometimes what you must protect isn't an idea, but another person's silence. 6. Don't share your private life with anyone. What happens inside a relationship belongs only to that relationship. Every outside glance, every foreign ear, and every added comment slowly wears down the intimate fabric that should exist only between two people. Telling others about an argument, a discomfort, or a wound can feel like momentary relief, but in reality, it leaves your relationship exposed and fragile, because you resolve the problem with your partner and move on. But the person you told only remembers your partner's worst version in that moment. You forgive, they don't. You forget. They don't. So what was a bond of two becomes a distorted shadow living in the minds of third parties. When you share conflicts with someone outside, without noticing, you turn the sacred space of the relationship into a house with open windows. The wind comes in, dust comes in, other people's opinions come in. And the worst enemy of any relationship isn't open doors, it's outside commentary. People judge what they don't live. You tell one moment, but they build an opinion about your partner, about you, or about the nature of your relationship. You think you're only venting, but others begin to distance themselves from your partner, look at them with prejudice, or act with silent discomfort. Your relationship stops being a world shared by two and becomes a spectacle where everyone wants to add their interpretation. Intimacy is the backbone of a relationship. Everything born inside must heal inside. The famous "what happens at home stays at home" isn't a conservative tradition, it's a protective shield. What you say about your partner outside the relationship is a crack you open in the foundation of the bond. Because in a healthy relationship, problems aren't displayed, they're resolved. And the solution is almost never outside, it's inside. The person you should speak to is your partner. The place you should speak is the relationship itself. Of course, we all live through difficult moments and sometimes we need perspective, but the key is who you tell. A wise mentor, a mature friend, or a professional can give you clarity. A friend who enjoys gossip can destroy your bond with a single comment. Some listen to help, others listen to feed their curiosity. Not everyone has the emotional strength to hold someone else's intimacy without distorting it or using it for their own purposes. Remember this: love doesn't grow because of what you tell outside. It strengthens because of what you protect inside. Trust isn't built only on good days, but on the ability to keep the doors closed on bad days. Love exposed to the world's judgment ends up taking on colors that don't belong to it. Love protected in intimacy reveals its most authentic form. What is spoken between two grows the bond. What is exposed to many weakens it. That's why speak with your partner, not about your partner. Because love wears down when it is shown too much, but it deepens when it is cared for in silence. 7. Manage social media with intelligence. Showing too much of your life on social media weakens, without you noticing, your inner strength and hands your true self over to other people's gaze. Every photo you upload, every story you post, every moment you display opens a window into your privacy. But not everyone who looks through that window does so with good intentions. Some are inspired, yes, but many watch to compare themselves, criticize you, judge you, or compete in silence. That energy, the constant gaze, builds up like an invisible weight on the soul. And when you feel the world watching you, you start living not to experience your life, but to display it. Today, many people confuse visibility with value. I appear, therefore I exist becomes a trap that pulls you out of the center of your own life and turns you into a shadow dependent on outside approval. Without noticing, you stop enjoying the moment and start focusing on recording it. Food gets cold because it has to be photographed first. Vacations stop being rest and become content. A smile no longer comes from joy but from the need to look good in the image. Authenticity dissolves and real happiness gets replaced by aesthetic happiness. Experience surrenders to exhibition. When the brain gets used to the instant dopamine social media offers, it stops finding peace in its absence. If notifications don't come, anxiety appears. If you don't share, you feel like something is missing. This isn't a lack of connection, it's addiction to visibility. But true freedom isn't being able to show everything, it's having the wisdom to know what not to show. There are moments that lose value when they're exhibited. There are joys that grow only in silence. There are achievements that take root far from people's eyes. The Stoic concept of the inner wall matters more than ever today. As Heraclitus said, a wise mind is like a solid wall. It lets light in, but doesn't allow the wind to destroy what's inside. That's how social media should be used. Let some of your light filter through, yes, but without letting it become a storm. Not everything should be shared. Not every feeling should be proclaimed to millions. Not every success deserves a stage. Deep happiness doesn't need an audience, it strengthens in inner stillness. In a world where so many people are more busy showing their lives than living them, many have lost peace. Because the more visible we are, the more exhausted we become. The wise person doesn't hide from the world, but they also don't expose themselves without measure. They protect themselves with awareness. They guard their privacy the way someone guards their home. They don't open the door to everyone. They choose who enters. Because the digital world is full of noble people, yes, but also others who judge, compare, and consume without consideration. And their opinions shouldn't leave scars on your spirit. That's why being measured on social media isn't weakness. It's strength. Living the moment matters more than showing it. Peace isn't in the likes, but in the silent minutes nobody knows about. Truly calm people don't need to prove they're calm. People who are truly happy don't feel the urge to prove it. People who are good don't proclaim their goodness. They simply live it. And that's why they are free. In conclusion, show less and live more. Speak less and feel more. Share less and protect more. Because a life well lived doesn't exist to be displayed. It exists to be lived. And that is exactly where Stoic wisdom becomes most evident. The more you protect yourself, the stronger you become. The Stoics said, "Whoever can govern themselves cannot be governed by anything. Whoever protects their word protects their destiny. Whoever protects their emotions becomes unbreakable. Whoever protects their life is never easily influenced." Remember, the greatest transformations don't begin with noise but with silence. The seed grows in silence. Decisions are born in silence. Strength gathers in silence. And the human being reconnects with themselves in that same silence. Thank you for watching this episode.